Noxolo Nokwaza, Mutsidisi Pascalina Milamu, and Noxolo Xakeka. Names of those killed because of their sexuality. Under apartheid, homosexuality was illegal. Our constitutional democracy protects our rights and our choices. 25 years into our democracy, do we accept those citizens who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, and queer? Let's get started. Good evening and welcome to the Democracy Gauge. I'm Bongani Bingwa. Apartheid South Africa regarded homosexuality as subversive and resulted in severe penalties. Homosexuals were often grouped into psychiatric wards with drug abusers and the mentally ill. Now, today legislation protects the LGBTIQ community, but our society still battles with homophobia, as often seen in what are sometimes fatal attacks. A 2016 report showed that more than half of South Africa's gay community fear they will experience discrimination due to their orientation or even gender. And that's why we're asking the poll question we have this evening: have we truly accepted the LGBTIQ identities? You can choose from our standard 3 colors. Green is for yes, yellow is for maybe, red is for no. Of course, we also invite you to send us a WhatsApp video to 065-862-4548 to share your thoughts, your experiences. Our poll is on sabcnews.com. The conversation is also on Facebook and Twitter. Remember our hashtags there, they are on your screen: SABC DG25 and hashtag SABC News. Lifeline Northern Cape says the province is lagging behind when it comes to having safe spaces for men who have sex with men to receive adequate, judgment-free healthcare treatment. Neo Bodumela compiled this report for us.
A campaign by Lifeline and the Me First movement to encourage men who have sexual intercourse with other men to put their health first. The Me First campaign aims to address stigma and homophobia in the healthcare sector and LGBTI community. Lifeline Northern Cape says healthcare safe havens for these men and women are a must.
The other challenge is that we find that people who are in the LGBTI sector or in the LGBTI community find difficulty of going to the health facilities, and they find themselves being discriminated against, or they experience a lot of stigma because of people not understanding, their sexual orientation or their sexuality. And that is the biggest challenge. And that is why this campaign is so important, because we want to create an environment where people are able to come in and access stigma-free services.
Campaigns like the Me First movement are geared to encourage people like this 31-year-old man to be more conscious of their health decisions. The man, who cannot be named to protect his identity, has been in a stable 2-year relationship with a woman despite having sex with men regularly. He says visiting a public healthcare facility is not an option because of the harrowing experiences others like him have had.
Mostly it's stigma, mostly it's judgment. What are people going to say? What are people going to do after they? Because I've heard stories of what people like us they're being done to. We also have to be protected. We know the risks of STIs and HIVs and stuff.
The Me First campaign will be launched in other cities across the country over the next 3 months. Neo Bodumela, SABC News, Kimberley.
Well, in our studio today, we are joined by Sizakela Pohledi, who is queer, a body-positive activist, a writer and self-published poet, and she joins us now in the studio. Sizakela, a very warm welcome to you to the Democracy Gauge. Thank you so much for joining us today on the program.
Thank you for having me.
So, the struggle of queer people is well documented, particularly in the dying years of apartheid. Mm-hmm. Democracy, we thought, would bring about change. Has it?
It depends. In some places, on paper, it is perfect. On paper, South Africa looks amazing. On paper, South Africa is still literally the only country in Africa that recognizes and legalizes a same-sex marriage. But our problem is not paper. We don't live on paper. We live within the community, and that's where the problem is.
What problem do you identify in various communities?
Prejudice, hate crimes. People don't understand. People think, people will say like, Nkulunkulu created Adam and Eve, so what life are you trying to live? Because also religion is very important. We find people trying to tell us how to live our lives based on what the Bible will say, based on what they grew up knowing. They'll tell you that I was raised in a family of a man and a female. How are you going to raise a child in Ubanu Baba, Ubanu Mama? Which one is the fork and which one is the knife? And we're like, but we're not trying to do that. We are just as we are. We are ourselves, both female or both male. No one is trying to, there are no gender roles.
What do you explain? I mean, it's one thing for people to express, I suppose, personal fears or personal prejudices, but how do you explain that given what we have that's so great on paper, as you put it, that we still have the persistence of hate crimes, where sometimes it even leads to cases of murder and brutal assaults? How do you explain that?
Education and difference. People are afraid of what is different to them. People are used to black and white. And if it is not that, don't come and be great, because it scares them. Difference will always scare people. And change makes people uncomfortable. Difference makes people uncomfortable. And there you come and you are not black, no white, and you want to be there and be purple, ganja, and we don't understand. You are making us uncomfortable, so people retaliate.
There are those, though, who will make the point that even in our popular culture, be it television soapies, be it music, we have a lot of artists, entertainers, storylines, where the LGBTIQ experience is reflected on positively, and they'll say it's baby steps, progress is being made, however slowly.
If everything comes from a place of privilege, right? If I'm staying in the city, the people who watch those things, I would say open-minded. They know that change is about to happen. But if I go emakhaya, they may see this. They may see okay, on generations, there's Usenzo and whomever, but they don't understand it. And they fight.
Yeah.
We are used to this. Stick to this. Dare you want to be outside the box, then you're making me uncomfortable.
We played a clip a little earlier of men who have sex with men, and it's important to be able to use the right language when we have these discussions, because some people will engage in what may be termed, same-sex sexual activity, even though they don't identify themselves as queer.
Yes.
How does that make sense?
Sexuality and sex are worlds apart. People may enjoy, they say, I identify as lesbian, right? I may enjoy having sex with a guy. That does not make me straight. Identity is everything, and I think that's the most important thing in queerness, being able to express yourself the way you want, being able to dress yourself the way you want. So people will be like, but this person is married, so how are they seen with a guy, or in my case, a guy, but in a guy's case who's married to a woman with another man? That's what also drives people crazy, because they're like, but you're confusing us. They forget that we're not living to make them comfortable. We are living to make ourselves comfortable.
Just as heterosexual people don't owe anybody an explanation.
Exactly.
So if because sometimes it's a lonely struggle. There's a teenager somewhere, maybe even watching us right now, fully aware of who they are, but not daring to speak of it.
Fear.
What do you say to them?
So being who you are is daring, right? And being who you are won't always be accepted. And as a teenager, it depends also on your support structure. If your family is supportive, then live your life. But now we have teenagers who come from families that would rather marry them off when they say that they like other girls, if they're girls. So how do I put this? There's a level of safety.
Yeah.
If you are safe enough to be who you are, then speak your truth. But there are places where your freedom will put you in harm's way.
Just quickly as we wrap up, what would you like to see? I mean, how do we change the stigma? How do we change the prejudice? How do we stop the attacks? Because quite often it is a matter of life and death. How do we do it? Do you want government? Do you want civil society? Who do you want to do what?
The government is doing on paper what they're supposed to be doing, but there have been crimes that have gone unpunished. So I think even in the government system, as much as on paper we are all happy, everyone from wherever want to come to South Africa because we're a very beautiful country in terms of the laws, but is it really for us? Are the policemen really for us? If I go in and I say my friend who's a guy raped me, is the police really gonna protect me? In some cases, they do not protect us. They will say, but he's your friend, Mos. And I've had cases where a friend of mine was raped by her friend. And when she went out to actually say, Usman Bani did this to me, they were like, but are you really gonna expose your friend?
Sure.
You know, are you...
Yindelendlela, the road ahead is still long. Thank you very much, Zakela, for being part of our discussion today. I mean, obviously, it's a question of leadership. Progress has been made on paper, but the lived experiences may be something entirely different. A reminder then of our poll question: have we truly accepted LGBTIQ identities in South Africa? Green is for yes, yellow is for maybe, red is for no. Send us a WhatsApp video to share your experiences. We'll have more of your views after the break. And as we go to that, please choose one. Which one do you choose? Color. Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Hold it up there. That's what you think.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back.
Every year, more and more people all around the country are saving money on their car insurance. Let's meet some of them.
I work for a car dealership. Many of my clients that buy cars have to sort out their insurance.
Yes.
And hearing from them on a daily basis how much money they save from our insurance, I had to make the call myself.
Your clients switched you, the car dealer. How much did you end up saving?
Just over 300 Rand a month. Switch up now, going to the new year. 2019, make it yours. As we say, 2019.
Oh, it hits the spot. 2019. If you think it's a hassle getting a quote, put us to the test. Call or SMS now for a quick quote and make 2019 your time to save. SMS SAVE to 34473.
Well, I'm doing my articles in chartered accountancy, so I have financial knowledge. What she said just made sense, so we switched and saved.
How much did you end up saving?
Almost 450 Rand.
You guys have children yet?
No, but the mother-in-law is pushing very hard.
If you can convince your mom-in-law to switch and save, that'll get you 1,000 Rand off of your next monthly premium. With the money she saves, it's a win-win situation.
Mother Frida, if you want babies, you must switch and save.
Yo! If you've been with the same insurer for years and haven't recently put OutSurance to the test, call or SMS now and make 2019 your time to save. SMS SAVE to 34473.
It was a simple telephone call, informed him of the basics. I had an accident. With most insurance, once you've had an accident, they increase your premium. And then when he told me this is what the premium he would be, are you sure? Did you hear that I had an accident?
How much did you end up saving?
Half of my previous premium, almost 500 Rand. Start your year off on the right foot. Queen of... Oh, no.
They've all saved. Why shouldn't you? SMS SAVE to 34473 and make 2019 your time to save.
So what happened is I made the phone call and I asked Olisa to just call me back. He explained everything to me, a meaningful conversation.
How much did you actually end up saving?
Almost 750 rands. That's how I switched and saved. But I'm glad our paths crossed.
We could make an OutSurance connection here. Have you and Tolisa gone out on a date or something?
No, it was just insurance.
Oh, is it your time?
Yeah, it's my time.
Just think what you could do with the money you save. SMS SAVE to 34473. 2019, it's your time to save. How did your path with OutSurance cross?
And I saw this advert about this guy, Chacha. So Mr. Chacha got me thinking, if I do switch and save, I won't just do the Chacha, I'll be doing the Tango.
And the difference that you're now saving?
It's just over 900 Rand.
In 3 words, summarize your experience.
Smart, professional, and they saved me money.
You know that last one was like 4 words.
I know, but that's how good they are.
SMS SAVE to 34473 and make 2019 your time to save.
Welcome back here on the Democracy Gauge. It's all about you and what you have to say. So, right, let's go to social media. Let's look at Facebook this evening to see what the views that are expressed there say. Nazim says, some of us have accepted them, but not all the people will accept them, so we can't force that in their throats as they have their own views about the LGBTIQ community. That's a thought. Wise says they just need to be educated about that. They need to understand that it's not about them. It's also it's not a choice. One is born like that. There must be more stories aired on TV so that people can be familiar with LGBTIQ. It's possible. That's what Wise says. All right, we're taking more of your thoughts. From the start of the show, I've been asking you to send us WhatsApp videos. Now, we encourage you to tell us who you are, where you're from, and to keep them under 30 seconds. But those are coming up next. Right, the People's Views, the section of the show that allows you to interact directly with us. So you've seen what people are saying on Facebook, for example. We take Twitter, sometimes we're even on Skype. But let's look at those WhatsApp videos now.
Hi, I'm Prunaja. I'm a butch lesbian from Mpumalanga. And I feel we are not yet accepted. However, we are tolerated thanks to the laws that are actually being passed in the country. Reason why I say that is because I still face, me and my friends, some of my other gays and lesbian friends, each and every day, whether we're in a taxi, in a public area, wherever we are still being discriminated. Remarks are still being passed on. And when I go to a public place, be it at a mall or anywhere, it's very difficult for me to go to a toilet because I must first raise my hand and explain and say, look, I'm a girl and all of that. So the day we will be accepted is the day that the LGBTI brand or the LGBTIQ per se will have toilets everywhere that actually recognizes us and our sexuality.
I would like to say that we have not truly accepted the LGBTQI communities because you find that in most families they are still being ostracized and also they are being called names, and I think people have just managed to live with them. I feel like there's a certain religions that still oppress them, and there's a certain system of raising children that is actually homophobic.
South Africa is a free country, but I still feel it is quite a battle still to be gay, out and proud, because we face a lot of hate, discrimination and rejection, especially in your so-called professional setup, particularly sport. That is why I have dedicated my life to fight for inclusion and equality, not only for myself but for the future athletes. I believe everyone should be able to participate in every level of sport free from discrimination. Opportunities are limited. Excuses are found, even if you are good for the job. So yeah, it is hectic to be gay in South Africa.
I have accepted them and I have made like a lot of friends with them because I'm also in radio, and I also make sure that, you know, once in a month, and I try to interact with them regarding like their successes and their progress of being accepted by the community.
It's your show, it's your views, and if you want to be part of the People's View in our next show, send us a WhatsApp video. You've seen how easy it is. 065 862 4548. At the end of each show, I throw forward to the next show's topic. Debucho Makwati from the Northern Cape. Well, you better tell everyone that your story is coming up right after this break.
We do not just speak, we let every voice in our nation find full expression in language and in culture. We do not just teach, we empower all people with education. We do not just bring you the news, we place you where the news is happening. We do not just entertain, we take you on journeys. We do not just broadcast sport, we create an arena for sporting heroes to inspire you. Ours is not just a job, it's a calling to ensure that everyone in our nation is informed, educated, and entertained. We're able to do this because you do your part. SABC TV licenses. It's all made possible by you.
In a UN report, scientists say climate change is getting worse.
1/3 of our food sources for the population come out of the ocean.
We spoke to people who have been directly affected.
We have lost a lot of cattle. Gemsbokvlakte, Tosca gebied and Jakkalskop. Everywhere you will see there's animals dying.
I've lost 2 of my cattle this January.
Africa's demand for clean drinking water is rising.
Drinking water is a top priority.
The next day when the water comes back, it's dirty.
I have implemented a level 5 water restriction, effective immediately.
Environmentalists seek solutions to preserve the planet.
This is Cape Kirpa, which is also one of the endemic species that is only found within the Western Cape, so it occurs nowhere else in the world except in our water systems.
Say it loud, say it proud, stand up for who you are. That is what many people in the LGBTIQ community would say. And today, of course, as you know, in fact, as we do every day, we go around the country. SABC News has collated incredible stories from ordinary South Africans. And you can go check them out on our website, sabcnews.com. And there they are on our interactive map. Today we are in Kimberley. We're going to be speaking to Tebogo Makwati, who comes from the small town of Pampierstad in the Northern Cape. Tebogo is an LGBTIQ activist from Kimberley in the Northern Cape. 25 years after the advent of democracy, Makwati still feels marginalized as a queer person.
My name is Tebogo Makwati, born and bred in the Northern Cape, in a small town called Pampierstad, raised in Kimberley. I work for the South African Police Services and also an activist for the LGBTI community in the Northern Cape. I must say conversation has started. However, it's just a few of that conversation that we can say for the past 20 years we are reaping the benefit from. The policies are there, but no implementation. We are still far as a country when we speak about LGBTI involvement and inclusion in spaces of government, in spaces of society. People spoke about freedom is here, the excitement about freedom after, apartheid. Those years, the excitement was very, very high up until we started understanding what freedom means. Of course, I do feel marginalized. I remember a time where there was an issue of corrective rape amongst LGBTI people, a lot of homophobic attacks that happened. Those things are still happening within our communities, and I think our government is talking about it, but nothing has been done about it. We know our rights, and that protects us, but at the end of the day, the societies that we live in can easily hurt you. So we are still in fear, even though we have that 10% freedom. The current status that we are in, we are speaking politics, but our political parties are speaking another conversation, what they can do for us, not do it with us. My hope is to see a very unified South Africa. If we speak about dignity and respect, everybody must be respected. You must be seen as a contributor to the community, to the economy. You must be seen as a contributor to, to the country. Without the labeling of LGBTI even being there, you must be seen as a South African. I choose yellow because I see inclusion not being there as a country. People take decisions for other people within our country, and then a sense of entitlement where people just think they can throw anything to communities and always come back to apologize. Our political leaders need to learn to consult communities of what they actually need in terms of bettering South Africa. Tick tock, as we count down towards the election. Now, as you know, every day on the show, we go back
25 years to remind you of the build-up to that first historic poll. Today, 25 years ago, General Constant Viljoen spoke at the signing of the Accord on Afrikaner self-determination.
This document that they signed might be imperfect. It might not be exactly what all the different parties wanted in the negotiations. But to us, this is a demonstration of a desire to reconcile between the two major indigenous groups of this country. I firmly believe, ladies and gentlemen, that this accord opens a gate. To us, it touches on the very essence of aspects of vital importance for peace and prosperity in our country in the near future.
Oh, are we back? Sorry, I was busy on my phone. What am I doing? The SABC new mobile app is your one-stop digital portal for all the news you need. And I tell you what, it's addictive. It's got the latest breaking stories, complete with podcasts, live streams of all the big news events. You can simply download the SABC News app on your smartphone from the Play or App Store. In fact, have a look.
The SABC News mobile app is your one-stop digital portal to all the news you need. Stay connected with the latest in breaking news. Watch the SABC News channel along with clips and live streams of all the big news events. And listen to all the SABC News radio stations live, including podcasts and much more. Simply download the SABC News app to your Android or iOS device from either the Play Store or the App Store. SABC News, independent, impartial.
It's just a click away, isn't it? Now, before we say goodbye, let's take a look at the results for today's poll. Here they are coming up on your screen. 32% yes is what they feel. 19% say maybe, and a whopping 49% say no, absolutely. There's still work to be done in this area. Well, thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch and participate in our show. Tomorrow, we're asking, is South African music too plastic? Is it all for show? Our poll is now open. You can vote and send us your WhatsApp videos. Do it now. We've got incredible guests. You don't want to miss it. From Fortune and myself and the rest of the team, until tomorrow, Good night.